So this is Deborah LeeAnn, and it's another opportunity for us to gather in the School of Light Collective with my amazing guests, Samuel and Michelle. Michelle and Samuel, if you know, we're going to be equal
Hello.
for the equinox, right? And
Yes.
I can't wait to introduce them and their energy to you all. So thanks for tuning in. I would like to start by saying, would you just give us an introduction as to who are you and what are you two up to in the world?
Michelle don't want to start. As you can hear on my accent, I'm from Europe technically, and Michelle will develop after, but she's from Brazil. And on my part, I arrived in US in 2014, which was spirituality was definitely not my field. Michelle leader. When we met, after a couple of months, we decided to create some things for helping others. So our connection was spirituality and developing a lot of discussion together at the restaurant and the beginning of the relation. But the relation came stronger, and when we really started to see this connection, this strong connection together, we try to develop some things that will make us enjoying our journey, our together journey on spirituality, and also helping people to awaken. We are into the period that people spiritually awaken, start to shift through polarity. And with friends that we have around, we observe the needs, even kids that you can hear behind us, some lack of, I would say, connection with the spirituality, with who we are inside. So we decided to create the YouTube channel, which is the faster way to reach people. And now we are doing more things that are coming. And now I'm letting you say.
No, yes, we studied a lot about the spirituality, and it helped us a lot. And then we can see that we improve on this life. And we had a conversation that we would like to try to help others around us that are the same situation, the same sometimes misunderstood about life. So, and then we decided to create this channel.
Oh, it is such a fun thing to listen to and watch you. And I did tune into your blog that you did the other day, Samuel, on Ukraine and about chaos, which is one of my favorite topics, about how Mother Earth has to destroy to create new. And so you handled that topic so beautifully. And the other thing I want to know is, when did you individually and collectively in your relationship discover that the polarities are collapsing, that it isn't,
No,
I mean, and they're important. Well, I mean, I don't mean it that way, but I mean like that it's this or this, when there's all this juicy stuff in the middle that obviously you know how to tap into. So tell me about that. I call it like the triangle.
No, I didn't start. Okay. I mean, on my way, I always talk about him because for me it's important for people that will hear from the family. My grandpa used to teach me these things, so making me observing the life when I was younger, like around 5, 4. So he started to bring me slowly this type of observation that everything's have polarity in this world, in this illusion of matter. And further on, I through my personal experience, I wanted to experience the true negativity, but see the beautifulness into it. That's why I said I talk about war, and I know pretty well the war because I was involved in several things, but also on the beautifulness. So, you know, when, for example, you arrive in Brazil or you visit other world, this is another association of polarity. So when I started to observe the things through a different perspective, which is positivity into the negativity and negativity into the positivity, the yin and the yang, I started to say, but okay, so technically it's a balance. If you take the yin and the yang and you make it willing, then the association with white and black become together. So for me, it's a balance. We keep talking about that with Michelle every night, every day. So I mean, this is the way I experience it, through the darkness and see beautiful things into the war, and also beautifulness and beautiful things into the darkness, or reverse.
So do you see them as birthing or as blending into each other, or but you still see the poles separate? I'm just curious.
When I personally, when I observe it, Michelle will probably confirm, because we are enough together for seeing the perception of each other. But, you know, through the life, people experience situation, environment, people, whatever the situation is. So let's take death, for example. You lose a kid, you lose a parent, you lose, you know, the beloved one. It's hurting. It's very hurtful, because we have so much attachment on those polarity that if you are dying, it's bad. No, it's not. It's the regular things in life. And behind, we don't know. That's why we said that people reach the light somehow. But on the other part, when you look at the flowers or the beautifulness of the nature, you can see ugly things. I always take this first example that we took in the one of the first video, the emotion. We says that, you know, at Christmas, kids is so much excited to have a toy, but this toy after the Christmas become, you know, empty. It doesn't have any resource, nor energy for him. So it's the same thing, depending on how much energy you put on each polarity, the polarity will automatically diffuse, right? Dissociate. If you want to dissociate people, oh, Michelle, you bad because you did some things bad, then your mind will be negative, even your reaction will be negative. But now, if you see the beautifulness into the negativity, okay, right, why we reacted like this, or you know, sometimes we have disagreement and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see our own negativity through the beautifulness of other, and also the negative part into our beautifulness, which create the balance and a shade of color.
I love that. And Michelle, I want to hear your take on this.
Yes, we experimentate polarities every day, all the time. Even our discussion that, for example, yesterday we had some kind of discussion as a partner. So, and then what I try to do is, how is my reaction? How I can improve on it? What kind of feelings are coming to the surface? So it is time to heal the things. So this is sometimes, yes, we can see how to deal with. So we try to do it all the time. I used to say to some, and sometimes when he's pissed with someone, and I say, okay, but trying to see what kind of feelings are you feeling and trying to understand it. So I think all the time we need to do it.
Yes. I call that, and just recently I learned this word that makes sense. When you're in conflict, what's generative? What is growing from that? What is being nourished by this discomfort that is allowing something new, right, to be? And it's like, well, and you probably know this, childbirth. It is not a pretty process, but boy, do we have the most beautiful results, you know? So I love that. And integral theory or chaos theory has to do with that, has to do with we're all of it. Why do we try to not be, oh, I don't want to, spiritually, I want to be a good person and high and in the light. And I loved how you said that about, we can't just, that's not human,
Yes.
No.
So,
No.
yes,
But
beautiful.
if you take let's talk about science a couple of minutes for taking an example, because you are probably people that very scientists, or they're more spiritual. Nothing is created with beautifulness or ugliness. It's created with both of it.
Yes.
So as a male and
Yes.
female, as the sun of the moon. So when you start to, when we are created, even, science find other things, but technically for me, if God exists, I don't want to hurt anyone, the universe, I call that the vital force or the key,
Mm-hmm.
or the atom, like they says, we can see that if the Big Bang existed, some people will say, no, we have proof, although we'll discuss about that, but whatever. Actually, the science said, okay, we have Big Bang. The Big Bang is an explosion. And the explosion make damage, technically. If I throw a grenade somewhere, it will make a big thing. But now, if I use for a farmer that need to dig a hole, well, the guy will say, oh, it's useful. But technically, it's a weapon. So depending of, we are a technological weapon that we can see surrounding us, the computer, the TV, it is us. It's a representation with a matter of some technology that we have inside us.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't really get it. And we are all mad. We all have emotion, and we need to experience that. Oh, no, you mad. Oh, you lie. Or blah, blah, blah. So we put people in the box as we put life in the box. Mm-hmm. Life has no explanation. It just needs to be experienced. So we were talking like a couple of days ago about experiencing the deepness of negativity. Because without negativity, you cannot see the light. So
absolutely,
it is very complicated for most of us, especially with religion, with dogma, things that we are living now into it, which is probably the worst time ever. But also this chaos.
The best time, Ari. You said the worst time and the best time. Yeah,
because it will oblige us to modify our way to live, modify the way of seeing things and even thinking or experiencing. So
yes, I mean, and it's so perfect because just as of yesterday, right, the hours of daylight and night were equal. So we are meeting during this equinox. You keep using the word balance, and I'm like, we couldn't be. And you're in the southern hemisphere, and I'm in the northern. So it's like we're heading into spring, and all the flowers are blooming, and you are heading into the quieter time for
winter,
you. Yeah. So I am, as is my daughter in Australia. So it's very fun to know that we're at these opposite ends of the world, and that COVID partially brought people together in this way, right? Because we weren't able to get on airplanes and go travel, but we actually traveled farther through our online connections. So thank you for agreeing to meet with you, A. But B, I am so curious about this awakening tribes. I get it because I feel like I'm part of your tribe. Yet I want to know, when you first had this, another one of your brainchild, a child that you created, you two, who is it that you were wanting to serve primarily? And like, who is your tribe?
When you decided to create this channel, we didn't have a plan. We just want to start because yes, exactly. We just want to share with people what we have between us, what we learn, what we discuss, because we help each other as a partner. And then we said, but let's try to share, because you can see I improved a lot to watch some videos, to watch some channels in the YouTube. And then even with people starting, so why you cannot do the same and trying to see if people connect with us. And that's we have a foreign people, I'm Brazilian, he's French and live in US. It's so much different stuff that people can see that we are just common persons, but we can help each other.
Yes.
So
and yes,
say better than that.
and we I believe that's the level of consciousness that we are moving into, is this transpersonal, this I need you to unlock my genius. You unlocked his genius. He unlocks your genius. You know, your children are unlocking both of you. It's such a different way of thinking versus I've got this. I know who I am. And that's where we were. And we're kind of moving from that into, oh, I'm a different person with you. And you're a different person with him. And we're even better together.
Now that's why I mean, awakening tribes, you know, it's kind of French or Brazilian or American or whatever. We if we really perceive what's going on since, let's say 20 years, we had a first wave of, you know, hippie, which was an uncertain level of enlightenment. But I think the step was missed for some, and for other people, the step was perfect. Again, once again, we are into the polarity of perceiving things. But nowadays, I'm starting to say that it was a perfect step of testing how we can see some people, they act like hippies. You know,
Yeah, I just froze.
Be created. People wants to be vegan. We have more natural things going on, but at the same time, to hear.
We are blowing up the internet. Are you there? Your audio is not, what's going on?
There we go.
There you are.
Yes. Not you.
Okay, now you're muted.
Yes. There we go.
Wow, this has not happened to me for a long time. I think there's a lot of energy going back and forth here.
Could be. That could be. So now, yes, for responding and back again, we wanted just to share with people our own experience, you know, because people start to follow others on YouTube thinking that, you know, they are guru or things like that. And we keep saying we don't want to be guru, we don't want to be a leader, we don't want to, if we keep telling them what they need to do, explaining what was our experience, maybe they will pass through the same type of situation, but the reaction will be automatically different. The emotion generated by those situations will be different. So we really wanted to share, and we hope that through the video we are able to share without telling to people, no, it's like this and not, because life is such a balancing things to see. You never know where is the trap, and where you will fall, and where you will be the winner. You know.
Yes.
It's such a beautiful things, and I think
Yeah.
okay. No, yeah. So we are happy to share with people. It's difficult because she have work. I study a lot of other things, so we need to find more time. But now that we are growing, and we see we are growing slowly, but we are growing, I think the things will go pretty well.
Yeah. And if I could ask one thing of you, that if anything would be a practice, I know that you don't like to tell people what to do, but that it's, what would be a suggestion or a way for those to understand how much we need this kind of, this awakening tribe to connect with, to feel a part of? Can you invite people or share something that is your unique, what has worked so well for you two?
No. First, I mean, I will talk for both of us because I think we have kind of the same way of seeing the things, is to be aware on everything around you, but also within you. You know, people meditate, people breathe, people use yoga, but you can use anything you want. The rest in your body, feeling sensation, feeling, you know, the warmth, everything you can, even walking in the street if you want, but feeling yourself, feeling the energy of others, because we have a lack of knowledge of our own body. I was discussing with my mom 2 days ago, and I was telling her, how do you want to know yourself if you don't experience and you are scared of yourself? How do you want to experience your own divinities if you go ask to a doctor to tell you how your body works, which is completely insane? So to observe your life, you need to sit, you need to make friendship with yourself and love yourself with compassion, without judgment, because we are too much, again and once again, into the negative polarity, even with ourselves. So, I mean.
Yes, I will add something that I think it's to awake people to know who they are, and when you know who you are, you can find your power. So, and in consequence, happiness, peace, freedom, and you can be the owner of your life, not just a victim of the life, but you can have this kind of power that we think that we have somehow. I can, you can see our whole life changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything changing, the connection with people, the opportunities. So when you find yourself, you can experiment the life, the real life, not fake life. So this is, I think, is some of that.
I love that. Yes, 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 and yes. So I will put a link on to find your YouTube channel. Is there anything else you would like to say, just to invite people to come and give you all a subscribe or a thumbs up? Or
Usually it's Michelle saying that at the end of the video. I mean, YouTube for us, it's just the way of getting out of the comfort zone, talking to a large panel of people. We are talking for making podcasts. I'm on Facebook. I try to develop because of the age. I think Facebook is more appropriate for the. Facebook is a little bit less fast than other social media. So we try to develop. We would like to interact more with people like we are doing with you, to be able to have a question, experience, or what we call wisdom, but also people can bring, because we never know who we will have face of us. What kind of, yes, exchanging. And we are writing a book for giving, more perspective, more. We have some kind of shamanic. She's a Reiki healer, and I study shamanism. So we are creating a book, and Michelle will write a book after that, or maybe techniques to people associating Tao, so inner alchemy, and shamanism, healing with ritual, and so getting out completely of what kind of book it's complicated to write because it's not our job first, but I think it will be interesting to see how people will interact with.
Oh, that's beautiful. And even though you have a common message in a way, each of your unique voices are what make it so beautiful. So I just want to say that it's generative and it's in service to the good of the world. And I am so grateful to have met you. So thank you. And I am a new subscriber, and I am going to encourage others who are curious in wanting to learn more about what your life path is. It just keeps broadening. I can see it just a little bit each time you do a new video, how you exponentially growing. So
yes.
Very exciting.
We will see.
So
we'll see where the life brings us. It's a surprise. It's fun.
It's very fun. You can tell that you're having fun too, and that's the cool part. The more that there's
exactly.
We are too serious so often, and then we're missing out on that polarity of fun and joy and delight because we got to grow. We got to, so thank you for bringing both sides to the picture.
Yes. But that's the difficulty also. It's the difficulty also on YouTube is that we need to prepare some script. We need to prepare the video. So it's requesting some serious. We have some people telling us that we are sometimes too serious.
So I'm going to do a close with you, and I invite you to add your own breathing and centering into the energy, and hopefully we'll be able to make it through without too much wonky internet connection. I just want to invite us all to drop into presence and connection and deep gratitude for all that is going on, all the beauty that you call the beautifulness and the scariness of the war and the anger and the difficulty, and not to make light of what the Ukrainian people are experiencing, but knowing that there is so much love in that country. I just feel like we're seeing all of the pieces shining at the same time. And you have helped to give words to that in a way that I didn't have before. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we are living for many people a lot of difficulties period because of the emotional things. We used to say with Michelle, try to be as possible far away from the media. I don't want to make envy right now, we love you. But rather being focused on yourself, because you cannot send love to people that suffer, especially when you don't know what's going on really behind the scene. And also when you don't know what's going on inside you. Once again, we are focused on outside, doesn't understand what is going inside. So the way you perceive the world, the way you perceive yourself. So it's everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. It's terrible.
So beautiful. So I just want to thank you from my center, from all of me, my annoyance at the internet cutting out, and my joy at getting a chance to meet you. And thank you again for all that you're doing in the world, and invite people to go check out your YouTube channel at Awakening Tribe.